as hell. That is not self-defense. He was trying to self-defend the car. You're trying to hit the car, bro. What are you talking about? You had her in a headlock. When you shot her, Brody, I was there. I write a statement, Brody. Don't worry about it.
I'm arrested. They can fucking run on the street.
I'm licensed to carry.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, bitch.
You shot somebody, nigga. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Calm down. Calm the fuck down.
It was just after 9 this morning near the National Teachers Elementary Academy when police say some sort of a fight unfolded, the suspect pulling out a gun and shooting the victim in the face. She was rushed to Stroger Hospital but did not make it. Hours later, medical supplies and crime scene tape litter the ground where this happened.
What do you tell a kid when you just drop me off? How do you just say she's not here anymore? How do you explain it? It's so sad you can't even just think straight. I can't even get my words out just thinking about it bad happening right here by us.
They said her baby daddy put her in a headlock, and he let his other baby mama come up and pum her in her face.
I want justice so I can have a peace and mind.
Breaking news, it doesn't stop there. We just got this update on a fatal shooting that happened back in September in the South Loop. Quadeja Holly Johnson is now charged with first-degree murder in the death of Romeeka Blackman. Johnson and Blackman share children with the same man, and we do know that man was also at the scene when the shooting happened. Johnson was initially taken into custody, but then released shortly after the shooting. Johnson is set to appear in court tomorrow at 11 in the morning, and we will definitely bring you any updates as we get them.
Yes, it is indeed true that at 3:25 p.m. today, I received a call from the Cook County State's Attorney's Office, one of their spokespersons who's been there for years, who said, hey, I'm calling you because she has been charged. I know you've been emailing pretty much on a weekly basis. I'm giving it to you now, letting you know what's happening. So yes, it is true. She is charged with first-degree murder. The details of what has, transpired between now, when it happened and now and what they found out will be forthcoming.
Y'all, she got charged. After 3 months of waiting, watching her post on social media, seeing her smile in matching Thanksgiving outfits with the same man Romeeka died over, Holly Johnson finally got them bracelets. First-degree murder. And let me tell you something, the family didn't just get justice, they got vindication. Because for 90 days, people were asking if she'd ever pay for what she did to Romeeka at that school. Well, December 3rd gave us the answer. Now, if you've been following this channel, you already know we covered this case back in September when it first happened. But for those just joining us, or those who need a refresh, let me catch you up real quick. Romeeka Blackman, 28 years old, a mother, a daughter, a sister, the baby of her family, but somehow became the leader. That's what her mama said. On September 8, 2024, Romeeka did what she'd done countless times before. She took her 6-year-old son to school. Before he got out the car that morning, she handed him his lunchbox. Inside was a handwritten note, just a simple message telling him to have a great day, reminding him that she loved him. That note? That was the last thing Romeeka ever gave her son. And y'all, that baby held on to that piece of paper so tight that when it came time to bury his mother, he wore it in his shoe to her funeral. Make it make sense. Now, Holly Johnson, she's the woman who's sitting in Cook County Jail right now. And the reason she's connected to Romeeka? A man. Carlos, the father of Romeeka's 6-year-old son. The same Carlos who also had a 6-year-old son with Holly. 2 women, 2 sons, 1 man. And before anybody tries to make this simple, let me tell you, it wasn't. Because what people don't understand about situations like this is how these men operate. They play both sides against the middle. That means he's telling Romeeka one thing, then turning around telling Holly something completely different. He's in her ear about the other woman, then in the other woman's ear about her. It's a sick game, and it's one that too many women fall into because they're getting fed lies from the same source. We don't know every detail of what Carlos was saying to either of them, but what we do know is that whatever he was doing, it created enough tension that Holly felt like pulling a gun on an unarmed woman was the answer. Period. Now, Holly wasn't some stranger to Romeeka. They knew of each other. They've been navigating this co-parenting situation for years. Both of them tied to the same man, both of them raising his sons, both of them dealing with whatever version of the truth Carlos was selling at any given moment. And look, I'm not here to paint Romeeka as perfect or Holly as a monster. What I am here to do is tell you what happened and let y'all decide how you feel about it. But what I will say is this: only one of these women is still here. Only one of these women gets to tuck her son in at night. Only one of these women gets to see tomorrow. Romeeka doesn't get that anymore. And the man at the center of all this? Carlos is still walking around, still posting on social media, still living his life while two little boys are trying to make sense of why their mamas aren't coming home. But hey, we'll get to him later. For now, let's talk about the months leading up to September 8th, because this didn't just happen out of nowhere. There were signs, there were incidents, there was a whole lot of tension building, and people who knew both women could feel something was coming. Romeeka had been dealing with issues surrounding Carlos for a while. The back and forth, the drama, the kind of mess that happens when you share a child with somebody who won't just let things be peaceful. And Holly? She was in the same boat, both of them frustrated, both of them feeling disrespected, both of them being fed a narrative by the same man who benefited from keeping them at odds. That's what these situations do. They pit women against each other instead of holding the man accountable for the chaos he created. Girl. So when September 8th came around, it wasn't just another day. It was the boiling point. The moment when all that tension, all that frustration, all those lies collided in the worst possible way. And we'll get into exactly what happened that morning. But first, let me tell you about the 3 months that followed. Because the wait for justice in this case, it was long, it was painful, and it almost broke Romeeka's family. September 8th, 2024 started like any other Monday morning. Romeeka woke up, got her son ready for school, packed that lunchbox with the note inside, and headed out the door. It was routine, the kind of thing she'd done hundreds of times. Drop him off, kiss him goodbye, tell him to have a great day, then go on about her business. But this morning was different, because Holly Johnson had other plans. Now, we don't know exactly what triggered Holly that specific day. Was it something Carlos said? Was it something she saw on social media? Was it just the final straw after months of built-up resentment? We may never know the full story, but what we do know is that Holly made a decision that morning, a decision that would take a mother away from her child forever. She grabbed a gun, got in her car, and headed to the school. When Romeeka pulled up to the school that morning, she wasn't expecting trouble. She was just there to drop her son off, just there to make sure he got inside safely, just there to be a mom. But Holly was already there, waiting. And y'all, this is where it gets real. Because what happened next didn't happen in some back alley or some dark parking lot. It happened on school property, in broad daylight, while children were being dropped off for class. Romeeka got out of her car, her son was with her, and that's when Holly approached. Words were exchanged. We don't know exactly what was said, but witnesses reported seeing the two women in a confrontation. Romeeka was unarmed. She didn't have a weapon. She didn't have anything to defend herself with. Holly did. She pulled out a pistol and opened fire. Let me say that again. She pulled out a gun and shot Romeeka. Right there. In front of kids, in front of parents, in front of Romeeka's own son. Romeeka went down. And just like that, in a matter of seconds, a 6-year-old boy watched his mother take her last breath. Carlos was there too. The man both these women shared a child with, the man who created this whole toxic situation. He was right there when it happened. And while we don't know exactly what he did or didn't do in that moment, what we do know is that Romeeka died while he stood by. So now you got a mama dead, a child traumatized, and the woman who pulled the trigger? She didn't run. She stayed right there at the scene. Police showed up within minutes. The school went into lockdown. Parents were frantic trying to figure out what happened. And Romeeka Blackman was pronounced dead. Holly Johnson was taken into custody that same day. And for a moment, just a brief moment, Romeeka's family thought, okay, she's arrested, justice is coming. But then something happened that nobody expected. Holly was released. Girl, let me tell you, when that news hit, people lost their minds. Because how do you shoot somebody in broad daylight on school property in front of witnesses and get let go? How does that make sense? The Cook County State's Attorney's Office said they didn't have enough information to charge her at that time. They needed to investigate further. They needed to gather evidence. They needed to build a case. And listen, I get it. The legal system has procedures. But to Romeeka's family, that sounded like an excuse. Because from where they were standing, the evidence was clear. Their daughter was dead. Holly pulled the trigger. What more did they need? So the waiting began. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. And every single day, Romeeka's mama woke up in pain. Every single day, her sisters wondered if justice would ever come. Every single day, her son had to go to bed knowing his mama wasn't coming back.
A grieving mother is speaking out after her daughter was shot to death in Chicago's South Loop. Tina McMiller stood this morning near Cermak and State, the same spot where 31-year-old Romeeka Meeks Blackman was shot and killed during a school drop-off on Monday. And she says her daughter was loving, supportive, and an amazing mother.
She loved her son. She loved me. She loved her siblings. And I loved her the same. I want justice. She didn't deserve it.
Leaders there also called for tougher action against violence and enforcement of House Bill 158. That's a state law that declares violence a public health crisis. No charges have been filed, but police had called the shooting domestic in nature.
Meanwhile, Holly was out here living her life, posting on social media, smiling in pictures, acting like she didn't just take somebody's whole existence away. And the most disrespectful part? She was posting with Carlos, the same man Romeeka died over, matching outfits on Thanksgiving, cute couple photos, the whole performance. Anyways, the family wasn't about to sit back and let this slide. Romeeka's mother, her sisters, her friends, they started organizing. They started rallying. They flooded social media with Romeeka's story. They tagged news outlets. They called the state's attorney's office every single week demanding updates. And the people listened. The community showed up in ways that still give me chills. They wore pink, Romeeka's color. They created hashtags. They shared her story over and over again until it couldn't be ignored. The pressure kept building. The attention kept growing. Because here's what people understood. If Holly could kill Romeeka and walk free, what message does that send? That you can take somebody's life over baby daddy drama and face no consequences? Nah, not on our watch. Detectives were working the case, but the family didn't trust the process anymore. Not after Holly got released that first day. So they made sure the world was watching. They made sure every step of this investigation was under a microscope. 3 months. That's how long it took. 3 months of Romeeka's family crying, begging, pleading for somebody to do something. 3 months of watching Holly post like nothing happened. 3 months of wondering if justice was just a word people say to make you feel better, but never actually deliver. But on December 3rd, 2024, everything changed. Holly Johnson was picked up in Wrigleyville. She wasn't expecting it. She thought she was in the clear. She thought maybe all that time passing meant she'd gotten away with it, but she was wrong. First-degree murder. That's what they charged her with. And when that news broke, the family erupted. Not just Romeeka's immediate family, the whole community. Because this wasn't just about one woman getting justice. This was about proving that our lives matter. That Black women's lives matter. That mothers matter. The state's attorney's office called reporters directly to announce the charges. They knew this case had eyes on it. They knew people were waiting. And when they finally made that call, it was like the entire city of Chicago exhaled.
Also heard from family and advocates of Quadeja Johnson saying that, she wanted to clear her name. Apparently she had gotten a lawyer, and I told that person that, if she wants to clear her name, and, she's saying that it was the other way around, that she was the person that was being stalked, etc., that this platform, Fox 32, would be available for her to be able to speak. That never happened. I never had the opportunity to interview Quadeja and hear her side of things, but that is what I know was the circumstances. And in fact, the family member told me that she was instructed from her lawyer not to speak, to let this play out. But I still left that door open for the possibility, the probability that she may want to come here at Fox 32 and air out what she felt was, wrong for people to keep saying that she deserved to be charged. And so, yes, it is indeed true that at 3:25 p.m. today, I received a call from the Cook County State's Attorney's Office, one of their spokespersons who's been there for years, who said, hey, I'm calling you because she has been charged. I know you've been emailing pretty much on a weekly basis. I'm giving it to you now, letting you know what's happening. So yes, it is true. The article that is linked is currently old. That article will be updated, and that's why I linked it, the previous story. But if you stay with that previous story, you will see here shortly as our web team is working to update that story so that the new information is out there. This is breaking news. And as you know, in a breaking news situation, a lot of times things are still developing. And in this case, this has not been written up. What I can tell you is that I did indeed just take to air the information that was provided to me from the Cook County State's Attorney's Office, and it did go on TV. So they're updating that news article online, like I said, at this minute. She is charged with first-degree murder. The details of what has, transpired between now, when it happened and now, and what they found out will be forthcoming. They did attempt to deliver what they say are order of protections from the plaintiff, which was Quadesia Johnson, to Romeeka Blackman. And they made an attempt on July 14th of 2025 to serve her, July 15th of 2025, unsuccessful, all of these. July 16th, July 18th, August 14th, and then October 2nd, which we all know she was not alive then. So all of these details, I'm sure, will come out in court. All of these details will be interesting to see, what did the Cook County State's Attorney's Office find out, since September. So September, October, November, here we are 2 months late, 3 months later, almost, pretty much 3 months later, almost 3 months to the day. By towards the end of this week, almost midweek, or I should say, between now and next week, almost literally 3 months to the day, September, October, November, December. What did they find out in that time that changed all of this? So yes, we did receive this information. We, again, are updating our website. This is not a joke. This is not a game. This is pretty much, I wouldn't go to air with something like this and it's not true. And I don't play about, someone being charged, except that's not a game to me.
The day after Holly Johnson got arrested, she had her first court appearance. And y'all, the turnout was insane. Romeeka's family showed up wearing pink. Her friends showed up wearing pink. The community showed up wearing pink. So many people packed into that courtroom that they had to move the hearing to a bigger room. Court staff said they'd never seen anything like it. People were standing in hallways, overflowing into the lobby, all there for one reason: to make sure Holly Johnson understood that Romeeka Blackman was loved, and that she wouldn't be forgotten. The family stood outside the courthouse after the hearing, and Romeeka's mother spoke. Her voice was shaking, but her words were clear. She thanked God. She thanked the state's attorney. She thanked Detective Tiraz. She thanked every single person who'd been calling, posting, rallying, and refusing to let this case go cold. She said it had been 3 months of pain, 3 months of agony, 3 months of waking up every day wondering if justice would ever come. And now, finally, she could breathe just a little bit easier. But she also made something clear. This wasn't about revenge. This was about accountability. She said,
I just want to say thank you to the state's attorney, to Detective Tiraz. You did a great job. I truly appreciate it. To the Attorney General, it's been 3 months of pain and agony. I just want to say thank you, Lord. Thank you. Justice, please. I just want justice. I don't want fight with nobody. I don't argue with nobody. I just want justice for my daughter. And I want peace in my family. This has been such a hard 3 months. It's been painful. It's been we've been torn apart. One of the leaders of our family. She was the baby, but she was the leader. The holidays are not holidays. I'm just grateful to God. And I am happy on today's verdict. I thank you, I thank you, I thank you. And all I want is to be done, is justice to be done. I want justice so I can have a peace and mind. It won't bring her back, but it will be a little peace now. It feels like a big bundle just been lifted off my head and my heart. And I truly appreciate everyone that stood by me, rallied with me, supported me and my family, because it meant a lot. And I thank the world, because the world helped me and God. I thank y'all so much. I thank news people. I think the Facebook, social media. You guys was there for us. You guys stood there with us. You didn't let us down, and you still are there. And I thank y'all so, so much. I couldn't have did it without y'all. I couldn't have made it this far without y'all. You and you. I love you girls.
Thank you.
You hear me? And I thank y'all so much.
So we're happy with the verdict.
And we're happy with the verdict. Justice for me. 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 Justice for me.
One of Romeeka's sisters spoke too. She said Romeeka was the baby of the family, but she led them. She kept everybody together. And now, with her gone, the holidays didn't feel like holidays anymore. Everything felt empty. But on that day, December 4th, they felt something they hadn't felt in months. Hope.
Carlos is doing great. He has always been doing great. He has a strong mother. He has a strong grandmother. He has strong aunties. He has strong uncles. He has a village. Carlos may be hurt for the rest of his life, but we make sure he see rainbows in his clouds. Okay? Nothing will ever change about that. There is nothing he needs that we cannot provide. He is perfectly well. He is happy. He is thriving. And even when he feels his lowest, we pull him out of it together like we do with each other. He is a superstar like his mom, and he's going to show her better than he can tell her.
Yes. Can you get her name? Romeeka. My name is your name.
Your name?
Frederica.
My name is Dreka. Dreka. And I'm the sister they don't like to put in front of the camera, so I'm going to leave now.
Of the support, yes.
The family even sang. They had a song made for Romeeka. And right there outside the courthouse, they sang it together. And here's the thing that got me. It was one of the sisters' birthdays that day. The same day Holly got charged. She said it felt like Romeeka gave her a birthday gift from beyond. Like even in death, Romeeka was still looking out for her family. Make it make sense. Now, Holly's sitting in Cook County Jail waiting for trial. Her bond hearing will determine if she stays locked up or if she gets out while the case moves forward. And honestly, after what happened the first time they let her go, the family's not taking any chances. They'll be at every single hearing making sure the system doesn't fail them again. As for Carlos, he hasn't been charged with anything. And that's the part that's got people tight. Because yeah, Holly pulled the trigger. But what role did he play in all this? What was he saying to these women that made the situation so toxic that it ended in gunfire? He posted on social media after the arrest saying, "I smile to hide the pain, not because I'm happy." Talking about how he loved both of his baby mamas and how he's an active father. But here's what I need y'all to understand. You can be an active father and still be the problem. You can love your kids and still create chaos for their mothers. Because love without accountability is just manipulation with good intentions. And now Carlos is walking around having lost both women who carried his children. One is dead, one is facing life in prison, and 2 little boys are left to pick up the pieces. Let me tell you something. This didn't have to happen. Romeeka Blackman was 28 years old when she died. She had her whole life ahead of her. She had a son who needed her. She had a family who loved her. And she lost all of that because of a man who couldn't keep his house in order, and a woman who thought a gun was the answer to her problems. This case isn't just about Romeeka and Holly. It's about a pattern we see over and over again. Women fighting each other over men who aren't even worth the energy. Men playing both sides, telling lies, creating division, then stepping back to watch the chaos unfold. And I'm not saying Romeeka or Holly were perfect. I'm not saying either of them handled the situation the right way. What I am saying is that one of them is dead and the other one's life is effectively over. And the man at the center? He's still here. So what do we take from this? First, accountability starts with the person looking back at you in the mirror. If you're dealing with a toxic baby daddy or baby mama situation, ask yourself, what am I accepting that I shouldn't be? What role am I playing in this cycle? Second, no man is worth your life or your freedom. I don't care how fine he is, how good the intimacy is, how much he promises he's gonna change. If the situation has you feeling like you need to confront somebody with a weapon, it's time to walk away. And third, to the men out there playing games with women's emotions, y'all are not innocent. The lies you tell have real consequences. The chaos you create doesn't just disappear, it builds. And eventually somebody pays the price. Romeeka's son is 6 years old. He's gonna grow up without his mother. He's gonna have to explain to people what happened to her. He's gonna carry that trauma for the rest of his life. But here's what gives me hope. He's got a village. His grandmother said he's surrounded by strong women who make sure he sees rainbows even in the clouds. They're not letting him drown in grief. They're lifting him up every single day. Holly's son? He's in the same boat, 6 years old. And now his mama's locked up facing a murder charge. 2 boys, same age, both caught in the crossfire of adult decisions they had nothing to do with. As for Holly, she'll have her day in court. The legal process will play out, and whether she gets convicted or not, she's already lost. Because even if she somehow beats this case, she'll never get back the life she had before September 8th. And she'll have to live with the fact that she took a mother away from her child. Romeeka's family is still healing. They're still fighting. And they're making sure the world knows her name, not just as a victim, but as a daughter, a sister, a mother, a leader. Someone who mattered, someone who was loved. The trial is coming. The family will be there. The community will be there. And we'll be watching to make sure justice doesn't just get delayed again, it gets delivered. Rest in power, Romeeka Blackman. Your son will know who you were. Your family will make sure of that. And to everybody watching, if this story doesn't make you rethink how you handle conflict, how you choose your partners, and how you protect your peace, I don't know what will. Stay safe out there. Hold your people close. And don't let nobody, and I mean nobody, pull you into a situation that costs you everything.